everybody, I'm Summer. As you know, I am the author and creator of the Loodor Tales Series. The series launched with The Land of the Pines and the sequel, The Land of the Strays. These books are really designed to instill self-confidence and self-worth, to reinforce empathy and kindness, and to really plant the seed for a conversation and dialogue about what's going on in your lives and what it's like to live in a modern world where we're all connected. So with that said, I really wanted this to be a real conversation where I get to sit down and use these books as a vehicle to have honest dialogue and to normalize discussions about mental health. So let's start with introducing you. So you know I'm Summer. Let's just quickly go around and just give me your name and your grade.
My name's Lawson, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name's Paxton, I'm in 5th grade.
My name's Addie, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name's Charlie, and I'm in 5th grade. My name's Lucy, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name's J2, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name's Oliver, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Ella, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is William, and I'm in 5th grade.
Okay.
My name is Kelly, and I'm in 12th grade.
My name is Cody, I'm in 12th grade.
My name's Rafe, and I'm in 12th grade.
My name's Peyton, and I'm in 12th grade.
My name's Alexis, and I'm in 12th grade.
My name's Anderson, and I'm in 12th grade.
My name's Jaden, and I'm in 12th grade.
Perfect. Yay! So the first thing I want to talk about is the books. We know that Gray the kitten is on this epic journey, right? She's born at the jam barn at Black Mountain Farm, BMF. She's like on this mission to become all that she can become. She knows she's meant to be more than a barn cat, and there's those packing orders she's got to get past. But she's on this mission to uncover and unlock the power of her voice, which can only be used for good. So what I want to start with, if there were any characters that resonated with you.
Well, one of my favorite characters
Yes.
was Mrs. J, because she's
dug her.
always like just with everybody, and she's so friendly.
Right? And she's like the total boss bird.
Yeah, and like everybody just respects her, and like she's like a leader, but she doesn't like have to be.
Yeah, she's a total leader, and it's just kind of like in her to lead. Like she's like the community, champion, if you will. And I love that, like, with the patches in her nest and the necklace that she wears every week. I loved that she's not overbearing. She doesn't like have to be this dominating force. It's just this calming force of leadership. And I love that she resonated with you. When I was writing her, I was like, I need somebody that's going to oversee Gray, that's going to help her, but that's going to be a safe place, right? Because it's just as important if you're a support system or if you're in that role that you enable other people to feel vulnerable and honest, and to help them move forward. And so that was, to me, what Miss J, as the epic boss bird she is, what she was intended to do.
I really liked the owl because he helped Gray find her voice.
I love Bo the Wise Owl. I love his all-seeing glasses. But yeah, Bo is just like this beacon of strength, right? That you if you do the work and if you try really hard, that you get to this thing that's been this guiding force all along. I loved putting him in Mr. and Mrs. Pine at the top of the mountain, because for me, it really represented that higher power of, having done the work and invested in yourself, that you reach this higher place of vision and of empathy and of knowing that that's what it was all about to begin with.
Mine is Gray because it's just so interesting how like what adventures he or he would have
Yep.
goes on and all that stuff.
Gray is on this super wild ride, but she's got her own insecurities, and they continue to manifest. Just as, as we continue to do the work on ourselves and to find our own voice and to uncover the ways to silence the voice in our head, it's important to remember that, you're going to have moments where you continue to still feel things or to get nervous. It just means that there are lessons that we continue to learn, and that's certainly the point of Gray the character. So as we know, I'm on this Who Are You tour, this Region 8 Who Are You tour, visiting with schools for spring 2024. And here at Sulphur Springs, I wanted to kind of recap some of the things that I originally discussed. the purpose of the tour and the theme of the tour is that we're all seeking connection. And so in seeking connection, that's what we search for. That's what that word really means. As we were working towards healthy mental health and a sense of self-esteem, we've got Biggie the deer, who really lost his sense of self when he lost his antler, right? And he had to rebuild himself and kind of start from scratch. But in doing that, he uncovered that he was so much bigger than he ever dreamt possible. How do you guys continue to affirm your sense of self-worth and that you are enough and that you can fill this bigger space? Like, are there any things that you do regularly? I think last time I was here, you guys had a mirror that said, "I am enough," which was the coolest thing I'd seen in a long time. Are there things that you do on a daily basis that you would recommend to other teens and students to say, "Hi, this is something cool, and it makes me feel as though I am enough"?
My mom, before I go to school, she's always like, it doesn't matter what other people say about you. You're yourself and you just do you.
Well, it's pretty awesome that she gives you that kind of affirmation every morning. That's a really great support system, and you're lucky to have that. That's pretty cool. Anybody else have things that make a difference for them? That kind of parlays into our kindness factor and just what advice or what things matter to you, and like the moms and so forth. Are there other ways that you can demonstrate self-confidence or helping others achieve it? I would say if you're walking down the hallway and you smile at somebody, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, especially if they smile back.
It always helps, right? You're like, "Oh my gosh, they smiled at me." Yeah, I totally get that. Opening a door and smiling for people. What are other ways that we can start to demonstrate that?
Whenever someone's like talking to you, if you say their name, it makes them feel better.
Makes them feel heard and seen, right? That's a really good point. What are some other things? Because I know you guys are so incredibly together, right? Like, you guys present a unity here that is pretty inspiring. Are there other things that you guys have learned here on campus, or ways to treat others or to demonstrate?
You could talk to them if they're down on themselves.
Yeah?
Work things out with people.
Yeah, talk, communicate. Yeah, share. And that goes into the empathy part of it, because you never know what other people are going through, right? You don't know what it took them to get to school that day. And so I always talk to that part too. That until you do, it's that lack of judgment and communication that kind of makes a difference for them. So if you're smiling and they actually smile back, then it's that moment of confirmation between two people, that special spark. And that's a huge part of what we're all talking about in terms of connection.
Yeah, so this might be kind of a random question, but when you thought of the cup for Gray to be
Yes, I was trying to think about how to fill that space on Biggie's antler, and something that would be symbolic of my hometown and my youth. And so it had to be that there was this cup that carried her. I also just liked the fact that it was providing such a safe space for her that she could literally jump in, and she knew that wasn't going to go anywhere, and it was a foundation. And it was a foundation that was only made possible by Biggie having experienced something. But again, as I said, growing into how big he could become, and seeing himself differently, and seeing this special sense of confidence emerge, but also empathy and an overwhelming sense of giving back. And so for him, that cup represented his ability to continue forward, this impact and reaching Bo the Wise Owl at the top of the mountain. And none of that would have been possible had Biggie not experienced what he did. But the cup definitely originated for me, driving around my hometown growing up, and if there was anything that you wanted at the end of the day, it was a Coke from the Sonic.
The fox, I
Yeah.
really think that it was something in real life, it could really get into your head.
It could, you know why? Because it has that cross of coloring on the back of it too. And so it's kind of it's that moment of your gut instinct, like, okay, I don't know what this, I know in his eyes what he is. Like I have this interesting sense. The coloring though, on the back of him, you just don't know, like if it's a warning from the universe. There were so many like idiosyncrasies and nuances that went into that particular animal's fur. I wanted it to be where you could sense this isn't a good moment. This is like something dangerous is coming. And the way the entire scene is laid out, you can see in the other animals their fear, but you don't know with the fur and the coloration of it. Someone's trying to tell you something. Someone's trying to protect you, and it was a reflection of not only trusting your gut, but trusting that the powers that be are going to put you in the right place to learn the right lesson at the right time. And if you look for the signs and you look for what's in front of you, and you really take the moment to trust yourself that those types of things materialize, and it's all in those little nuances of the illustrations.
Why did you make Miss J the mentor of Gray?
I made her the mentor because I wanted her to be like this calm, flowing place, that flew over. And in her character development, it was important to me that she had never had this foundation, right? That she had to go from place to place. And I know so many people, that, we meet different people in our life that never really had a sense of foundation. And so that's like, that was for her this thing that she sought, and she was seeking roots. And so when she got to BMF, it was important to her that she finally had this nest, this community, and support system. And so she was representative of what it's like when you do have a support system, what it's like when you have that group you can not just count on, but you can trust to guide you and to be a positive role model. And that's what I wanted her to represent. That she had worked really hard to take pride in being there and in having that foundation and in being that beacon of strength for Gray. So she was a character that also had to have like a fun streak, because otherwise it gets too serious, right? Mm-hmm. So she had to be like the one that was kind of a little bit bohemian with her patches and the pride she took in the, like, I envisioned like her barn and the nest, like just being these like rocks of like neon color, like just like something that's like so super cool. But like everybody knew, like at the end of a hard day, you could go by that nest and it was going to be like this source of just foundation and calm and whatever was needed. And so Gray, being the overarching hero, I wanted her to have one solid source of not just strength, but also of personality, because I wanted Gray to feel as though she could become anything. I wanted all of those things to be safe to uncover, right?
Why did you make the chapters in the Land of the Strays longer?
Each book is intended to take you a little bit more elevated, a little bit more into the depths of the story. So with books 3 and 4, that continues to happen.
Okay.
And so I wanted the first book to be these short introductions into really pivotal characters and into how Gray's life materialized. So you could really immerse yourself in the nest, in the barn, on the trails, and feel what that ore felt like, right? Like you know that like this dirt that's carrying her forward, I wanted you to really know it. And as you go through the strays, you get more into what the story is, like from a symbol standpoint, the enough part of it, but less, you're not super invested in the high rise, right? Mm-hmm. Right, but you remember what that fox was like on that trail. There's a reason that I did that, so that you would know the environment where she started, and you would learn the lessons in each book along the way that continued. That's a really fantastic question about the development of the series, because it continues to get a little bit more elevated as you go for that reason.
The donkey?
Yes.
Was that supposed to represent one of the victims that could get tricked by
Yes.
bullying?
It was. That was exactly what it was meant to do. So Jack the donkey didn't believe in himself. And so he really was that much more susceptible to someone else dictating the terms of his life and dictating how he perceived himself to be. Again, that's such a great question because that's exactly what it is. He didn't have the confidence or the wherewithal. And there's a scene where he almost catches his reflection in like a rearview mirror is the way he kind of thinks about it. And it's that moment of, wow, in hindsight, I really wish I had seen myself differently. I wish that I had known what I know now, that just by giving control over to a bully, that it wasn't going to make me stronger. It was actually going to make me weaker and feel weaker and feel less confident with myself. The whole storyline is intended to have those really, really subtle nods to bullying, to self-worth, to the narrative in your mind and the chatter, so that on paper, I realize they're really cool illustrations, but there's so many nuances that plant the seed for you to ask that question and us to have a really organic dialogue about it. And poor old Jack, right? You feel sorry for him because of what he's gone through and the fact that he gave over control so early on, and then fell prey to it, and really represented that's the interesting thing about the story is that he ended up representing the worst case scenario. But in the beginning, you're kind of mad at him, like you're like, why are you doing this? And then you realize he's not the bad guy. He fell prey to the bad guy.
And Land of the Pines, why did you want the deer's antler to break off?
In my mind, Biggie started as this really strapping buck, right? Like this super big body of a deer. And I wanted him to understand that he was more than that. Because I think it's so easy for us to say, oh no, to fall into safe places. Oh, I'm the funny one, right? That's what I'm known for. I'm the funny one, or I'm the smart one, or I'm this or this. And these are stereotypes or characteristics. And you're so much more than just one thing. And so with Biggie has lived on the mountain his whole life. And it's like I didn't want one particular thing to be the rut that he was identified with. I wanted it to be that his character had an opportunity to evolve and to grow. Like everything, you have to learn lessons. You have to sometimes fall or fail in order to learn the really important lesson that came with that. Biggie it wasn't his fault that he had an accident, but he had to succumb to certain things in order to really grow into the bigger personality, the bigger embodiment of strength that he was capable of being. But it sometimes takes failing in order to succeed. It sometimes takes falling in order to get up and to know that you can. I've certainly had to do that. I've had to take no for an answer. So many times I wake up to the word no, but you realize if you keep going, it's eventually going to be a yes. And you're going to get where you're going and you're going to become what you set out to become. It just takes the work. And Biggie had to do the work. He had to do the work on himself mentally. And then he had to find a creative way to take that same sense of strength and apply it to ways to demonstrate it for other animals.
Fall down 7 times, get up 8.
That's truly what the series is designed to do, is to show you like, okay, you set a goal. It's not going to be easy. It's not meant to be easy. It's not meant to be right there. But if you set it and you understand your own power and you understand your own sense of purpose, that it can be achieved. But yeah, it's exactly that saying. It's fall down 7 times, get up 8. Lose the most important thing to you, your antler. Fill it with a cup that carries the most important character up to finding her voice. Like these moments that you're presented with, they're all designed for a reason. And if you allow them to materialize and you allow yourself to participate, then so much more magic comes your way. And that's the whole purpose of it.
Why did you make Bob and Shiley?
I did that because it was true to their character. They were feral cats on a mountain, and it was true to them to live that way. I also wanted to demonstrate that Gray could survive on her own, was destined to grow on her own, and that she wasn't reliant upon them. Now, in the end of the book, you see that she feels her brother, right? She feels him watching and the pride that he's feeling. It wasn't that he left and that it was meant to be, a detachment. It was meant to demonstrate that we all have our own path and that we all have the right to fulfill our own path. And so for her brother and sister, that was theirs, and that's fair. And she had her own path and her own destiny, and she had every right to pursue it. And if we're all allowed to do that, then at some point you feel that sense of pride that you've been able to do it, that you've been able to go where you were supposed to go, that you've been given the support to achieve that. But it was very intentional that they weren't all supposed to be together, and they weren't all supposed to end up at the same place, but by going their separate ways and feeling the support and strength to do it, that they were all able to authentically become their best selves, right? And to fulfill their own destinies, and to feel a sense of pride in the end that was able to happen and materialize. So what I want to wrap this up by saying is that you guys have provided me an opportunity to really dive into the Pines, where this whole thing started. And it all started as a vehicle to engage in conversations. And just like this, to where we talk about the why, we talk about the what, we talk about where we're going, how we're going to get there, and the sense of self-worth necessary to accomplish our goals, to find the power of our voice and pursue our destiny. You guys have afforded me an opportunity to engage in that exact conversation and to demonstrate the point that books can be used to do that. So thank you guys for connecting with me today. Thank you for your sense of self-worth and empathy and kindness, because you guys have been a phenomenal group to demonstrate what a really good support system looks like. I've learned who you are, you've learned who I am, and we will continue this as we move forward.